It's the best. It's the absolute best. Someone from work sent me a Starbucks gift card. I got a nice nitro cold brew to start the day.
Hell yeah.
What's up, man?
Not much, dude. I'm excited to hear how you're doing.
Yeah,
Congratulations again.
thank you. I'm assuming people listening to this kind of know who we are,
Yeah.
but right? So, should we tell them the news
Yeah.
if they haven't seen?
Let it rip.
I'm a dad.
Hell yeah, you are.
Officially a dad. It's amazing. It's so funny because we recorded this first episode and I don't even remember like what we talked about.
Oh.
It was like right before that happened. Yeah, whatever. But
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't even know where to start. So it's been a week or almost a week.
So we went in last Thursday night.
Okay.
They do like not to get too technical and TMI, but like now like at your last appointment, like you could do a membrane sweep, which is like essentially like it like is a way that potentially naturally induces labor, but it only works like 30% of the time. So we went in for the last appointment and my wife's like, all right, like I think we should do that. And I was like, in my head, there's like stuff that I had to build out a bunch of programs for data fit and I had a bunch of stuff I had to do at work still. And I was like, okay. Like, I mean, like I was like, we should do it. Like it makes the most sense. But in my head, I was like freaking out and I'm like, all right, but like it only works 30% of the time. Like it's probably not.
Yeah.
And it's usually like within the first, like they do it being like, all right, hopefully within the next week, this will work,
Okay.
because they're like, a lot of people like 24 hours later, 48 hours later. We did this at 4:30, literally went out to dinner and it was, there's like a 4th of July parade in our town. And we're like, no, I don't know if we want, it's like really hot out. So we just got like dilly bars at Dairy Queen and went home. We're watching a show and it's like 8:30 and we're like, all right, like let's get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow's 4th of July. And like, we're like, maybe we would go downtown and see people. And she looks at me, she's like, I've had like 3 contractions in the last 15 minutes. I'm like, wait, what? and then it was like, we're like, all right, let's just wait and see. And then like half an hour in, she's like, they're not going away. And I'm like,
Damn.
should I start packing my bag? She's like, I think so. and then it was like my parents were driving to O'Hare in Chicago to pick up my brother who was just in Japan for 2 months.
Oh, wow.
On a trip with his religious group. And so they like literally drove to pick up my brother and then like immediately went to my house to watch the dog because we went straight to the hospital and it was just like all of a sudden 19 hours later, there's just a baby girl. It's crazy.
A real life human.
A real life human. And then it all just starts. And then it's like it's one of those things that like, I feel like every time someone asks like, how's it going? Like, how are you doing? I'm like, I feel bad saying anything negative, honestly.
Right.
Because it's like, it's just so like, you hear parents all the time being like, oh, they say all these things about like, oh, it's so hard. I'm like, it's really challenging. And there's, you have a whole different definition of what good sleep is.
Yeah.
Like this last night, we probably got up like 3 times in the night. And this morning I was like, this is the best I've ever felt in my entire life because not every night's been like that, but it's like the good outweighs anything difficult or hard by like a million. That it's like I don't want to sit around and be like, oh man, it's the most challenging. It's like it is hard. It is absolutely difficult. But you have no idea what we're doing. We're figuring out as we go on the fly. We're learning every day, and talking from other parents, like every baby's different. So there's a lot of it's just like it's literally trial and error, right? Like you're like, well, okay, she got super fussy when we got her up and fed her and then try to change her after we fed her. So like maybe like why don't we change her first because that's when she gets fussy and gets woken up, and then like let's swaddle her and then let's feed her and then put her in the like you figure out those little things, and so like you slowly get better and better at it. But like also it's totally different by child. Like some people have a really hard time breastfeeding from the beginning if that's what they're doing, and so like they're dealing with that now. And so all in all, like, I feel like we've been super fortunate, honestly. All in all, everything went smoothly with delivery. It was long, but that being said, like, there wasn't any major complications, and she's doing well, man. It's fun. I can't wait for you.
I can't wait either. I mean, I feel like that's such a good example too of like how you said so many people just love to like bitch about stuff. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're addicted to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, if you look back, I mean, it's just that aversion to discomfort. And it's like, happiness or like purpose or meaning is not separate from being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like those things are good. It's good to shake things up and do hard things. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's just your relationship to it. So if you go into it like, oh, this sucks,
Mm-hmm.
it's only going to make it that way.
Exactly. And I do think we're at the right point in our lives for this. Like I wonder 10 years ago.
Oh, right.
How hard it would have been if I was like we were at the point where we're like, I don't really want to be going out every single weekend, and I don't like, we still drink alcohol, but not to the, like, I don't like being hungover,
Right.
And so like, there was just a lot of things that from a life standpoint, we were in the stage that we're ready to do this, I think, and ready for the life that comes with it, because I think a lot of people would say with your first kid, it's such an adjustment, right? Because you can't just go anywhere anytime you want. You can't just go out and stay out as long as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And all those things we were just kind of not doing anymore anyways. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we still, we still hang out with our friends a lot, and I still plan to do that. But it's just a totally different way. And now it's the way that, like, we literally wake up, we hang out with her, we'll have coffee, we'll make breakfast, we'll go outside, go for a walk. And then it's like, I'm good. I'm good doing that. Like tonight we're going down. There's every Thursday in our village park, they have like a beer garden thing with a band that plays and like food trucks. So we're going to go check that out. And it's just fun, but I think 10 years ago, if you had told me that's what fun is, I'd be like, oh man, okay. I can maybe get on board with that. So I think that's another part of it. It's just the life that I have wanted for quite a bit of time. Like it's a similar feeling to when I finally started like coaching and started building that business, because in my head, it was like this constant itch that wouldn't go away. Like, I want to do something with fitness. I want to do something with fitness, and then like finally doing that, it was like, I never had that feeling again of like purpose, of like, I'm not doing something that actually benefits to people and like what I'm passionate about. And this is similar because I've wanted kids for a long time. And now it's like, this is it. Like this is, I don't need other things, other stuff. Like now it's just like, my whole perspective and purpose is just like, I just want to keep this family safe and happy and do things that help people, improve their health outside of this. And like, hopefully that helps me make a living to help my family. And like, that's it. I'm good.
Yeah. That's super cool. I mean,
Yeah.
It's like, that's funny. That just reminded me of, I remember one of Louis C.K.'s skits. He's like, once you have kids, your realm of who you give a shit about gets very narrow.
Yes.
And it's just like, I can only imagine it very quickly. It's just like there are so many things that don't matter.
They don't matter anymore. Yeah, 100%. It's cool, man. How are you doing?
Good, dude. We packed up like half to a third of our house. We're moving in 2 weeks. I'm going back to Omaha this weekend for a wedding, so it's just like,
It's amazing.
I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, I'm stoked to get back. But right now, I'm like, let's get this move over with.
People who are listening that don't know, so your wife is due end of August, right? August 25th or something?
Yeah. So I don't know when this will air, but as of right now, it's like 6 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm like, we're moving on the 24th,
Of
which
July.
is about a month out. Yeah. of July. So I'm like, I mean, whatever happens, happens, but
Yeah.
please just don't go before.
Just get to the 24. Yeah. Which is going to be, and you're moving because you're going to be closer to family.
Yeah, both of our
Yeah.
parents are there back in
Yeah.
Omaha, Nebraska. So yeah,
Which
it's
is
just a
incredible.
no-brainer. Yeah.
I mean, dude, that was like the biggest thing that, for my parents to be able to come watch the dog all of a sudden last second, and then like both of them visiting the hospital, and then like we came home and, my parents like dropped off dinner on their way back, like while they were dropping the dog back off, and just like those little things, and like both of our moms are like, let us know anytime, like we'll come stay the week. It's just like to be able to have that it'd be really hard not to have that around. And I can't even. Dude, I can't even imagine how single parents do. Like, props to
Oh,
them.
yeah.
It's really hard, like that truly is something that's really, really hard.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, the family part is huge, but even outside of that, like people out here in the Denver area, they're spending like $4,500 a month for daycare for two kids.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, just random date nights or
Hmm.
whatever. My sister and her husband live out here, but they're a 30-minute drive away. So it's like, it's not, I don't know, it's all around just going to be a game changer.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I'm excited to get back.
So I thought of a way to segue this into fitness.
All right, let's go. Let's hear it.
So the like one of the things as Mila was being born, and like before she was born, like in my head, like I always had this idea of I'm not stopping that side of it. Like I'm gonna keep working out. I'm gonna keep cooking. Like, and I really wanted to make that a point, but I didn't understand what that would look like, right? And so
Yeah.
I think what's been really cool is like the sleep thing is no joke. It's just a totally different relationship with like your nights are like a separate day now where
Yeah.
you have to wake up multiple times a night no matter what.
Yeah.
You're up like for half an hour at a time, and it's just you are not going to wake up in the morning feeling the same rested, ready to go as like you always are used to. And some nights are totally better than others. Like we've been super fortunate. Like I think in total we get like 6 to 7 hours a night,
Hell yeah.
which is awesome. But like there's multiple days where I'll wake up and it's just like that. It's like that groggy, I'm not ready to wake up for the day,
Yeah.
feeling,
Yeah.
which is super hard. And it's one of those things that like I understand the whole piece around why people feel like hormones are the problem and how this turns into like this big, because like when you are that tired, when you don't have energy, and like and a lot of these things that for someone who is going through like menopause, those things do become just more naturally part of it, right? And it's incredibly hard. Like when I wake up in the morning and I have one of those nights, the last thing I want to do is get up and like go walk my dog outside for
Right.
30 minutes. The last thing I want to do is go down to the basement and get a workout in.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've noticed, I said this to Jay and my wife yesterday. We went for a walk, or I went for a walk in the morning, and like halfway through the walk, and like no sunglasses, the sun's in my eyes, right? And I'm like, that feeling's gone.
Yeah.
Like that feeling is completely gone. Like it literally is like a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
And I came home and I'm like, I feel like I slept great. Like I feel like I have like my whole day ahead of me now. And I've only like this whole time I've literally taken one nap during the day.
Wow.
It's just like I walk 3 times a day out in the sun. Fortunately, it's summer and not winter right now,
Right.
And then I've gotten 2 workouts in this whole time, and it's just what I'm noticing is that it helps you feel better and it helps your sleep quality improve. Even if there's less sleep, I'm getting more rest during that sleep. So like the decision to walk or not, the decision to work out or not, the decision to cook versus order out or not, becomes a lot easier because I'm like, do you want to feel like shit or not? Like that's also like, I don't have any margin for error here. If I do things that just make me feel worse, it's just like, it just makes it makes my whole day off, which like, I don't want that right now. So it's been a huge piece that I'm like, I don't think, if anything, I'm more motivated to do it now because I know what I'm going to feel like if I don't.
That's why walking is so, so, so awesome, because the barrier to entry is so low.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think this is where a lot of that all or nothing cycle can come in very easily. Because if that barrier to entry is driving to a group fitness gym to do a 60-minute workout, that is so much harder than just like, I really want to sit on this couch, but
Yeah.
like maybe I'll just go for a 10-minute walk. And it's right there and it takes 2 seconds and it's so immediate, like how quickly you feel that impact.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And most people can do that at any given moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter how you feel. Like if you can't get your workout in, if you can't, if you can't do this thing or that thing, like most likely you can still get a 20-minute walk in outside.
Yeah. 100%. Well, and as you were saying all that, it's like, I'm sure you've heard it before. Just wait, right? Like,
Exactly.
wait until you're 30. Wait until you're 35. Things change. Wait till you have kids. And like people listening to this, like somebody might even be thinking like, well, this is his first one, wait till you have 2 or 3. And it's like, I mean, it's just a good example of how our assumptions and our stories about what we can do and can't do hold us back so much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm experiencing right now with the caffeine. So I'm like, tomorrow's 2 weeks without caffeine, cold turkey. And
that's awesome, by the way.
all these years, dude, I can't believe it. Never thought I'd be here. But all these years, it was just this assumption, like an unquestioned assumption that was a part of my life and I needed it to be productive.
Yeah.
And honestly, dude, like the first week was, I'm not going to say it was great immediately. Like I was brain fog, exhaustion, headaches.
Yeah.
But honestly, like this week, I've been, dare I say, more productive. And it's like, I'm like, oh my God, that was just such a strong like identity of mine, and like just hung on to that so much. And
what was the thing that made you finally say, I have to stop doing this? And how much caffeine were you having before?
So the last 10 plus years, I've gone in waves of the minimum it would ever be would be 200 to 300 milligrams. And then every year it seemed I'd get into like a 1, 2, 3 month period where all of a sudden that was getting really high. Like, and that was the last few months. So I'd have like 3 to 4 cups of coffee.
Okay.
Which like I make it decently strong. So it's like a lot of people say, oh, that's, 1 cup is like 80 milligrams. It's like, I don't know about that. It might be 200 each, but let's say they're like 100 each, so that's like 300 to 400. But then, it's not like I'm drinking it for 12 hours a day, but all of a sudden then it was, hey, let's go grab an energy drink before I work out in the afternoon, or the early afternoon at like noon. And I'd still get to sleep okay. But I mean, I've always had like a baseline just anxiety, and caffeine does not help that. I mean, in excess. Once again, if it's 1 cup in the morning, it's probably fine. But I think I don't really know, honestly. I think I was just like, I am tired of this. Like I'm wired and tired all the time.
Yes.
And I'm sick of it. And a big thing was, I was like, all right, maybe I'll take July and taper from like 400 milligrams to 0. But then my mind's like, all right, well, the baby's coming, sleep's going to be tough, all these things. And I was like, you know what? There's always going to be something. Why not just do it?
Which is like same with that, which first off, I just realized that I just literally brought like the worst possible trigger of I bought a nitro cold brew this morning and I sent you the picture immediately. And I was like coming in hot and I was like, oh my God, that's like literally sending a picture of a beer to like a recovering alcoholic. Hey man.
I could taste it through the phone.
I'm sorry. But that, to that point too, like heading into this, I had the same, cause I'm the same way. Like, and I realized I can have a cup of coffee, cause like a cup of coffee, yes, there's only like 100 milligrams.
Yeah.
But if you drink an 8-ounce cup of coffee, like my mug can hold almost 3 cups of coffee. And like, and I could fill it up and easily drink that in one sitting, you know? And so like, for me, I will have like a 2-cup of coffee in the morning, and that's usually fine for the day. But I know when I start adding on a little bit more, like even like just an espresso shot or even just like an energy drink in the afternoon, it's just the anxiety from it, like the irritability, I notice it, and I notice like my sleep starts getting worse. Like start having more racing thoughts. It's just hard. And you don't really understand in the moment. You're just like, oh, why am I anxious? Why am I stressed? But reducing it is like, oh my God, I just feel like more level energy. And so heading into this too, I was like, dude, you got to be careful. Like you're going to be tired. You're going to have less sleep. Do not use caffeine as that Band-Aid and as that crutch, right? Like, let's go for walks. Let's go work out. But you start going down that rabbit hole, you're not going to feel better. You know that, right? Like, you know that about yourself. So don't fall for that trap. And
for 30 minutes, you will.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. No, dude, it's the baseline shift I've had is insane. Like, it's night and day. I've been noticing something coming up with work or with this move or with financials or, you know, just life. And I'm noticing the thoughts there without that baseline, just like, oh shit, type of feeling in my chest and my body.
That's awesome.
But like, if you really think about it, you know, what does caffeine do? It increases your heart rate, increases blood pressure.
Adrenaline.
It literally stimulates your adrenals.
Yeah.
That is stress. That's fight or flight. And once again, not a problem. 1 or 2 cups a day in the morning early.
Yeah. Less than 400 milligrams is typically what the research will show is like more beneficial to your health than harmful. Once you start getting over that is when you start seeing more negative side effects for most people.
Yeah. And I mean, I would say, right? So if that's on the whole, you know, if you're a female and you're 120 pounds, I would be shying, you know, much lower than that for sure.
Yeah. It is interesting that caffeine's like they give those recommendations. And it's like, why do we give calorie ranges for body weight? But like caffeine's like everyone gets 400, you know?
You get 400, you get 400. But yeah, man. And then the other piece is just how, I mean, if we think about presence, right? Or whatever you want to call it, mindfulness, the whole idea of that is be here now more often, like get out of the future and the past. And caffeine that's what it's for. Like, think about what you do with caffeine. Plan, be productive, do things for the future. Like, it is the definition of living in the future. So I was just like, you know what? I know myself, because when I'm caffeinated, I can't rest. Like, I'm sitting on the couch is tough because I'm just, I need to do more. And so I was like, with the kid coming, I want to like really be there when I'm there. But it's been weird, man. Like, this phase of caffeine being up there, all my walks, I'm like, what podcast am I loading up to learn? And all of a sudden, these last 2 weeks, it hasn't even been a temptation. So it's like that dopamine oriented just hamster wheel has quieted down in the evenings. Like, I'm not as addicted to my phone. It's kind of like a weird cascade. It's been
interesting.
Great.
That is interesting. Yeah. That's like, and to that point, like then you start looking at caffeine as part of that dopamine satisfaction too, right? It's like, I would always just like get back from like lunch after, you know, in a work day and be like, I need an espresso shot. Like it's like, that's how my afternoon starts, you know? And it's like, all you're doing is you're just trying to get a little bit of dopamine in, you know? There's something I wanted to go back to that you were saying earlier. Oh, the idea of like so how we kind of like put these beliefs on ourselves, right? Like, oh, I can't do that. I can't get rid of this. So, and I brought this up kind of like earlier, but this whole like idea around hormones, right? Because this is like, and I want to be careful here because I know there's a lot of people who like genuinely believe like that is the ultimate answer and I'm dysregulated and all those things. And like, look, hormones are a very real thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think anyone, like, I think if you dismiss them entirely and say that it makes zero impact on fat loss and your health and all those things, like that's not true.
Yeah.
But to say that the cause of not being able to lose fat, to not be able to be healthy is because your hormones are dysregulated is also not true.
Right.
And what I'm noticed, like, I'm just seeing so much, like I was literally on Instagram last night and I was scrolling and I saw like a big account that's always been super focused on weight loss. And he would always be like boost your metabolism and fix your broken metabolism thing. And it's like, now all of a sudden his entire profile is all about hormones and balancing hormones and repairing gut health. And I was like, oh my God, like you just went from, you were an expert on metabolism and now you're an expert in hormones, like all of a sudden. And I clicked on like show other people, like this. And it's just like profile after profile after profile, all optimize your hormones, burn belly fat. And it's like, these people aren't doing anything different.
Right.
They're just saying that hormones. They're literally just saying that. And then they sell you the same shit as every other fitness coach. And it's like, but they just charge you 10 times more. And it's what I hate so much about it is that they make you feel broken. Right. And that's a really, really big problem because like I said, with the sleep thing, there's no doubt that it's harder for me to want to work out now than before.
Yes.
It's harder for me to want to go cook a meal than it was before. It's harder for me to want to go for a walk than it was before. Those are all true. And if somebody was sitting here and saying, hey man, you're a new parent, like all you got to do is like, you just got to rest, man. Like don't jack up your nervous system. You're going to feel too dysregulated. Like you really just you got to give yourself some rest. It's like, that makes me afraid to work out then. Mm-hmm. That makes me afraid to go for a walk. And I just said earlier that those are the exact things that are actually making me feel good.
Yeah.
Right. And this hormone thing is very similar that like, there's women who are afraid of doing cardio now because they're in their perimenopause and some influencer told them that it's jacking up their cortisol and they're not going to be able to lose belly fat until they finally bring that cortisol down. And it's like, dude, we have already an epidemic of not exercising. And now we're making people afraid of doing cardio. Yeah. Like it's insane. And so like, I just think like hormones, if you truly believe you're dysregulated, go to a doctor.
Right.
Like get because there's a very good, Jordan Side had a doctor on his podcast last week that like she actually specializes in it and she does HRT, like hormone replacement therapy for women in menopause. And like, so one of the things she found, like it's actually a lot of times it's actually a little bit lack of testosterone that is it's leading to not wanting to do these things.
Right.
And which makes it super, super difficult to be consistent. Right. And so she's like actual hormone replacement therapy, like if you truly are deficient in one, is life-changing because it allows you to actually do those things. But like if you're going to do it that way, right? Don't buy into some detox program that like some random guru online is selling. It's gone crazy. And I think it's holding a lot of people back because it's making them feel like, oh, I shouldn't push things too hard because I'm already dysregulated.
Yes. A 1,000,000%. I have like 3 things I want to cover here. So, first and foremost,
off the walls. It's a nice cold brew.
God, that was good.
My cortisol is through the roof.
First and foremost, I'm so glad you started off with absolutely these things can impact your ability to make progress. They're real. And I think that the challenging thing for people, especially for us that, we're evidence-based and understand a lot of these things, I think it's created a lot of polarization online, because I find myself, my default for anything that anyone says that is in that realm is just like kind of like an eye roll, like, yeah, maybe, probably not, which is true for most people.
Yeah.
But I think I've pushed farther that way just because of how insane some of the people on the other side are. So I'm so cautious to talk about or even address those things, just because it's so tough, because it's so much different for the person that's been consistently exercising and eating decently and moving. And, maybe it is a little off, or things, they just don't feel great, things like that. But when you talk to that person, which I'm a fan of lab work for pretty much everyone, naturally you're going to get the 99% of people that are sedentary and do not eat well whatsoever and want a quick fix. So it's so important to distinguish who we're really talking to. The other really tough part is that we all have our own subjective experience and we've never had anybody else's. So you can tell everyone wants to feel better. Like, have you ever met anyone that doesn't want to feel better, who doesn't want more energy? Like, I would argue that most of us, how many people are going to say that they're stressed, they have a little brain fog, they're tired, just the negative or quote unquote negative aspects of the human experience. So then it is so easy to just talk to that. And then you say, are you tired? Do you have brain fog? Are you stressed? Do you have trouble sleeping? Your hormones are messed up. And it's like, all right, well, this person works like crazy, has kids, gets interrupted sleep, gets, scrolls their phone for 2 hours before they put their head on the pillow, doesn't get outside in the mornings, doesn't move their body. I mean, it's a two-way street, right? So it's so tough. But on that note, like, I think, and you covered this, but it's important for people to really understand, if you have a hormone issue and we control your calories and your movement, you will lose weight. There's not a situation where you wouldn't. Like, literally, you might have to cut your calories lower than before, probably not by a huge margin, but there still is no situation where you wouldn't see success. So I think it's important to get that out of the way so that we can then address, but yes, absolutely, if you feel awful, it's going to be a lot harder to do that consistently. Yeah, I had one other thing that I wanted to point out, but it's just it's so touchy, right? Because, like, yes, absolutely, if you're interested in getting that checked out, get it checked out. Get your labs done. I think the problem is that so many people put their lifestyle change on hold until they get fixed. And that was huge what you said about, where are you coming at it from? Is it from, I'm broken and I need to fix this before I can go outside for a 10-minute walk? Or is it, hey, I'm making these lifestyle changes and I want to get the most out of these, and I also want to monitor my health for the future and get a baseline and make sure things are in check because I want the most out of this? Absolutely. And that's like the distinguishment. And naturally, social media is going to reward the more polarizing views that are telling people that you can't lose any ounce of body fat if your hormones are slightly off. It's like, no, let's get outside and walk either way.
Yeah. And I want to have empathy here, because
Yes.
like the reality is, no matter what we say here, there's going to be people listening that are going to be like, you're men, you have no business talking about women's health and hormones and menopause, right? Like that's the reality. It always happens.
Yeah.
And I want to say, like, I will never understand.
Right.
Like, I will personally never be able to fully understand what it feels like to go through menopause. And I completely appreciate that. it's also like telling somebody that is like, it'd be like saying you are not a Michelin star chef. So stop sharing recipes. Like stop talking about the buffalo chicken dip you made last week. You are not a chef. It's like, okay, but like you can still learn how to cook food even if you're not a professional chef. Yeah. Like I think we can still learn the science behind menopause and hormones and those things, and not personally ever go through it. Now, that being said, I am very sensitive to the idea that, like, to your point, from someone's perspective, if they have had 2 kids, they were always fit, all of a sudden things are just not as easy as they were before. Like, no matter what the science says, like that, it doesn't help to say to somebody, hormones don't make any impact. Right. It's all calorie deficit. You just need to move more, eat less. Like, how does that help somebody who in the moment is like, I've been trying. Like it makes it worse. Like it makes them be like, screw. And that's how they end up finding these people. They find these people who are like, you're just dysregulated. It's just your hormones. So like, oh, thank God someone actually understands me and is actually listening to me. But most of the time, and I do think there's actually people out there who do understand the science and they do it well. And they really come from like a perspective of like, I just want to help educate and help you make the most informed decision. But many, many times it's just a marketing ploy. Yeah. And that's the problem, because like what I want people to like understand how this all works on social media, because it's so important as people are like finding people to look at and to listen to. Because I'm not even like fully absolved from this. The reality, like I know that if I don't talk about fat loss to some degree, my engagement just will be way down. Mm-hmm. Because that's what people want, right? Like it's a supply and demand thing. And so like, but like personally, I would much rather just constantly talk about living a healthy life, getting super strong, eating foods that make you feel good, going for walks and movement. And I do talk a lot about those things, but if I don't weave in some fat loss, then it's just, people will not tune in as much. And it's the same way. Like if you have a TV show and you don't do you just do whatever you want, and you don't give like what the ratings are making the ratings go high, you're going to get canceled. Right. And so that's the same there. We all have our lines, because somebody could look at me and be like, dude, don't you talk a little bit too much about fat loss? Like, don't you know there's other things that are more important for health? And I'm like, I know, and it's the line that I've chosen to go to, right? Mm-hmm. For me, going past that to say it's hormones feels like I'm crossing that line, and I don't want to do that. But for other people, they're just like, well, yeah, no, I know it's not hormones, but dude, it helps my engagement a ton. It gives me a bunch of leads. It helps me get a bunch of followers. And once they come in, I can give them what they truly need, right? And they justify it like that, which isn't like, it's so hard to say what is right or wrong, right? Because we all kind of do it to some degree, as anyone that is on social media. But I want people to be aware of that, because you got to make a really informed decision then, right? Yeah. And so it's important to, like, whenever you see people speaking to those buzzwords, understand that part of it is truly because they're chasing the algorithm. They're chasing something that's going to hopefully lead to more followers, more leads for business. And for a lot of cases, like, this is their income. So I totally get it too.
Yeah. I mean, incentives, right? Just human incentives. And when that's tied, it's easy for us to self-justify and actually believe it, right? And it's crossed my mind in the past of, if you tell them something to get them in the door and give them what they really need. But where I've come to on that is, the problem is, if you do that, it further delays the acceptance of discomfort. Because that's what all marketing is, right? People don't want to feel something and they want to get away from it. And so if we tell people, and the reality is, as we know, changing your body is hard to do. There's going to be discomfort involved. Like there is always going to be discomfort involved. If you do it a little simpler and get away from things that don't move the needle and of course, there's ways to minimize that, but there's no way to eliminate discomfort, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so making a promise that we will remove discomfort from your life and change your body, it's not true ever. But when you do that and people pay $10,000 for 6 months and then the discomfort kicks in, all they do is it just reinforces their inner critic of, oh my God, I am so lazy and I just suck. Like,
Yeah.
that's the I had this solution. This was what was wrong. They gave me the test and showed it. We fixed it. And I still can't do it. It's just delaying this acceptance to start working with, all right, what's going on here? What do I need? Why am I getting in my own way? To just start to do the unsexy work of dealing with discomfort, right?
Because like, honestly, like if someone's listening to this, I would love to hear from you if you have actually worked with somebody who promised that they were going to balance your hormones. And then you went in and they didn't just tell you to strength train, track your macros and walk. Like they actually had something different and it worked. Like I honestly want to hear from you. I want to hear it because I would be genuinely curious if there is something that's some kind of protocol that someone's doing that is actually different inherently. Because to your point, so many people are going to walk in and like, I haven't heard a single success story of someone who's gone to someone like this, unless they go in and they're literally just selling them strength training and macro tracking, right? Like, of course that's going to work. That works, but that worked before. Yeah. It's just, now they're just packaging it with this little hormone bow tie that allows them to charge triple the price. That's all it is. So like, honestly, like, have you heard anyone doing anything different that has been successful?
I mean, any story I've heard from someone that maybe comes in to work with us, which kind of shows you if it truly worked, quote unquote, if they're talking to me about working with us, very often temporary or yes, they took it seriously because they paid a lot. And then they were like, oh, they're telling me to, lift weights to support my testosterone if I do.
Well, but that's what I'm saying though. Like, have you heard of any success stories that aren't strength training, like the same thing that other fitness coaches do for half the price? Like,
right. No, not really. I mean,
cause I could make the argument that with DataFit and our coaching, we do balance your hormones.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
yes.
You come in and guess what helps you get better hormonal health? Strength training and building muscle definition, sleeping, walking more, managing your calories and improving your body composition. If you do those things, which we help you do, you will improve your hormonal health. There's no doubt about that. And we've had people who have gotten their blood marker, like we've had many clients who have gotten their blood markers taken and have seen improved hormonal health over the course of, 8 weeks, 16 weeks, etc. So like, I could totally make that case, but that's not what we're trying. Like that's a part of the benefit, but I would never feel comfortable like using that as the main pitch because it makes people feel like, again, that the reason why they're having all these issues and challenges is because of the hormones in the first place, when the hormones are all they are.
Symptom, yeah.
It's just a marker. Like it's just like, it's like your car having a check engine sign on because something else is wrong with the car. The problem is not the check engine light. It's the fact that you need to fix up the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's like, that gut health, inflammation, we could come up with, do a skin fold of your fat tissue on your third rib on the left side down. And if it's over this many centimeters, that's why you're out of shape. It's just the end result. And it's like, oh, I have that. And then, so here's what you have to do, And like, once again, Huge fan of lab work because yes, there are real conditions that, you know, if a guy has a varicocele, you can be hypogonadal, and that can make a massive difference if you actually need it. So yeah, get it done. But see, this is where it's so hard to talk about, because like, I think anytime that's thrown out, it's like, what percentage of people actually have a real condition that's causing something like that? Because yeah, absolutely, if like hormone replacement, I think is very important for both men and women, especially as you get older. You know, our environment's different. It does totally impact energy, motivation. You know, we know that testosterone makes effort feel better, like working hard feels better, so those things are very real. So it's so tricky. But you know, like you said, it's is it the main thing, or is it a downstream effect? And
Well, like, have you gone to a doctor?
right.
Right? Like, have you? How do you know?
Yeah.
Because it's not because you read some Instagram post and you looked at you have hormone dysregulation if, and you're like,
Yeah.
I check all those boxes. No,
Right.
that does not mean your hormones are dysregulated. Have you gone to a doctor and got an actual blood work done?
Yeah.
And if not, then you cannot be claiming that.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, because it's actually very simple, you know, and to anyone listening, like a solid lab panel that will show you your sex hormones and your thyroid hormones. You know, you can get that for $500 one time, and then you know. But then the problem is, you get on Instagram, and then, well, they didn't test this, and it's just yeah.
By the way, you're one of those coaches is probably going to charge you $500 for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you might as well pay an actual doctor and like figure out if there actually is anything that you need to worry about from a hormonal perspective.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's the funny part too, right? Because like we just announced we partner with Merrick. They do a great job. They have doctors on staff that can actually treat hypothyroidism if you have that. And that's very because if you go spend $5,000 on an Instagram coach without any credentials, you're going to have to go to your doctor anyways.
Yeah.
To get a real prescription. You know?
Which is cool. I like that you did that because like we don't really have any other partnerships or sponsorships.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah.
so like I like what you did was you said what will actually supplement and help our clients more than what we currently offer.
Right.
Because we're not experts in that.
Yeah.
You know, like we can read rudimental, you know, labs and make some educated guesses based on like the main markers, but someone like there's way better professionals that do this for a career. So like outsourcing it to them, I think is super smart. And you're not like, I like that you looked at it as what is actually going to help our clients more than what is going to give us the best sponsorship revenue stream. Right. Because Merrick is not like, it's not a great revenue stream for us, but like, it's very different than saying, hey, check out this green supplement that we're now partnering with, because the reality is like they just have a really good affiliate program. So like I love the Merrick sponsorship.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes. I've a couple people have dove in, and I'm excited to see how it goes because they give a full report. They have like the optimal ranges as opposed to just the standard reference range, which is cool to see. And if there's something truly going on, you know, it'll show up on their lab panel. But one thing I'd love to kind of wrap this up with is the idea, and this concept I think comes from, I wrote a post about this, but I did a little like 1-day meditation retreat a few weeks ago. And the whole teaching was that peace is not something we go obtain. It's already here, and we just have to let all the noise fall away. And I think that relates really well to health and this conversation, because it's like, if we can get things out of our way, health will emerge. And that is such a different outlook on health compared to I am broken and need a supplement or to fix an imbalance to make me healthy.
Yep.
because it relates so well to this conversation of like, yeah, we could identify some blood marker or gut bacteria or symptom that is associated with poor health. Or we could go to the proven basics that make health inevitable. So it's like we could play whack-a-mole all day with lab work and nutrient deficiencies and all these things. Or we could just realize that we have some pretty well-established practices and things that our bodies evolved to thrive with, and realize that those things done well over time, consistently for a long time, are going to downstream knock out 99.9% of any of those downstream impacts of not doing those things.
Yeah.
And then at that point, if you're very consistent with those things, absolutely go see if you maybe need to make some tweaks around your micronutrition because, you're a little bit lower in some specific micronutrients or whatever it may be. Or just make sure, because like our environment's different now, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's definitely things that can be impacting it. But if we take the view that I am incomplete and I need something outside of me to fix me to get healthy, it's a tough road to go down.
Yeah. Well, in the perspective of like going back to the beginning, like I said, I'm going for walks because I feel the energy it gives me, right? Like I am doing my strength workouts because it's making my sleep better. I'm cooking instead of ordering food because I don't want to have poor indigestion for like 3 hours when I'm trying to hang out with my baby. Like all those things I'm coming at it from an approach of like, I want to thrive. I want to make my life better with this stuff. But like, think about it. If I was coming at it from it, I got to make sure that I'm avoiding the carbs and these bad foods. And like, I can't have pizza again. And also like, I got to make sure I go down and burn off all the calories that I ate on the treadmill because I've been sitting around all day. Like, how would I feel doing that? Right. Like, do you think I'd be more consistent with this stuff, or would I just sit there and like, I mean, we had like my parents, when we came back from the hospital, dropped off euros. And I sat there and I was like, this is so good. Like this tastes amazing. And it wasn't, and it was like at the moment, it was just like, oh my God, thank you for bringing this. Like, it's like juice right now.
Yeah.
But if I sat there after and I was like, oh man, like, I can't believe I ate that. Like it just makes you, I think people don't realize like how much having fear around these things and feeling like they're doing the wrong thing, feeling like they're broken, is actually leading to those behaviors being more consistent in their life. Because like if you have a couple scoops of ice cream, or like a couple bites of ice cream or whatever, and you're like, that was great, moving on, right? Yeah. Like it feels very different than, I can't believe I ate that. Like I ruined everything again. And like the reality is like you start getting into the spiral where you're just doing it over and over and over again. So like, I just think coming at it from the approach of, I am going to add more of these good things that make my body feel good into my life and not stress about all this other noise that everybody keeps telling me is ruining everything, just helps you so much in just staying consistent in the long run.
Yep. 100%. And that goes to the entire point that we're pretty damn resilient. Yeah. And is your definition of health not being able to handle, like, there are people that brag about how shitty they feel when they eat processed foods. And it's like, that's not healthy. That's so fragile. Like, we want to be able to thrive with a variety of foods and be able to handle that and stay healthy despite that. That's what health is. Health isn't this fragile, like, I'm so perfect that if I eat an Oreo, I cry for 2 days. Like that doesn't
Or if I eat a vegetable.
Right. Yeah. So keeping in mind that, we can make up for a lot of these things. And so I think that comes back around to all these things that, I said we like to shy away from just because it can be taken way too far. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are impacting our health in our modern lifestyles and environment. I think our default is just, well, let's make sure we put the basics first ruthlessly so that we can handle those things better. And then, yeah, maybe it makes sense to make some trade-offs on the fringe end of things that get that extra few percent if you're not feeling as great as you'd like to from the basics. Let's just not put the cart before the horse with a lot of things.
For sure. All
Cool.
right. Is that all you got today?
Yeah, I got to hop off.
All right. Well, if you are listening to this show, we appreciate you guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the first couple of episodes. If you have, hit the subscribe button because we are bringing plenty of fire your way in the future episodes. So we appreciate you guys. Leave a great review if you can, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.